I've taken dozens of late-night rides before, but there's one trip I can't explain. Because according to the app, it never happened, and the driver who picked me up doesn't exist. The first thing I noticed about the driver was that he didn't say a single word. Not hello. Not how are you. Nothing. Just a quick glance at me through the rearview mirror as I got into the back seat, then his eyes snapped back to the road like I wasn't even there. It was a little after 11:30 p.m. in downtown Chicago. I had just left a friend's apartment after watching a game, and I didn't feel like dealing with the train that late at night. So I booked a ride. 5 minutes later, a dark gray Toyota Camry pulled up. The app said his name was Daniel. 4.9 stars. Over 2,000 rides. Safe enough, at first. I buckled my seatbelt and gave a quick, hey! But like I said, nothing came back. No reaction. No nod. Not even a glance this time. I figured maybe he didn't speak English well, or maybe he was just one of those quiet drivers. Still, something about the silence felt heavy. Like the air inside the car was thicker than it should have been. I pulled out my phone and checked the route. Everything looked normal. About a 20-minute ride to my apartment on the north side. The map showed the usual path straight down the main road, then a couple of turns. For the first 5 minutes, everything seemed fine. The city lights blurred past the window. Traffic was light. The radio was off. All I could hear was the hum of the engine and a faint clicking sound. Click, click, click. I thought maybe it was something hanging from the dashboard, but when I leaned forward to check, there was nothing there. That's when I noticed something else. The driver kept glancing at me. Not just normal mirror checks. Longer than that. His eyes would meet mine in the rearview mirror for just a second too long. Then he'd slowly look back at the road. Every time, my stomach tightened a little more. I looked back down at my phone and opened the ride details again. Same name, same car, same license plate. Everything matched. So why did it feel wrong? Around the 8-minute mark, I noticed we weren't where we were supposed to be. We should have stayed on the main road, but he had turned off onto a smaller street. I frowned and checked the map again. Yeah, this wasn't part of the route. Hey, I said, leaning forward slightly. I think you missed a turn. No response. He didn't even blink. Hello, I said a little louder. Still nothing. My chest started to feel tight. I checked the app again, and that's when my heart dropped. The route on my screen hadn't updated. It still showed the original path, like the car was exactly where it was supposed to be. But outside the window? This was definitely not the main road. The street we were on was narrow, dimly lit. No other cars, no people, just rows of dark houses and flickering streetlights. Okay, seriously, I said, my voice more tense now. This isn't the right way. Can you... The clicking sound got louder. Click, click, click. And then it stopped. At the exact same moment, the driver slowly reached up and turned off the interior lights. The car went darker. Not pitch black, but just enough that his face became harder to see in the mirror. That's when I realized something that made my skin crawl. The rearview mirror wasn't angled at the road anymore. It was angled directly at me, like he had adjusted it just to watch me. My breathing got shallow. Hey, I'm gonna cancel the ride, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. Just pull over. Nothing. But this time, he smiled. It was faint. Barely there. But I saw it. And it wasn't normal. It looked forced. Tight. Like someone trying to remember how a smile is supposed to look. I immediately hit the share trip button on my phone and sent it to my friend. Then I tried to cancel the ride. But the app froze. It just stopped responding. I tapped the screen over and over, but nothing happened. Pull over, I said again, louder now. The car kept moving, faster. I looked out the window again and my stomach dropped even further. We were leaving the residential area. Up ahead, the street opened into what looked like an industrial zone. Empty warehouses, no lights, no signs of life. No, 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 I muttered under my breath. I grabbed the door handle and pulled. Locked. Of course it was locked. Unlock the door, I snapped. The driver's eyes met mine again in the mirror. And this time, he spoke. Very quietly. You shouldn't have noticed. My entire body went cold. What? I whispered. He didn't repeat it. Instead, he reached down toward the center console. I didn't wait to see what he was grabbing. Adrenaline hit me all at once. I kicked the back of his seat as hard as I could and slammed my shoulder against the door. Stop the car, I yelled. The car swerved slightly, tires screeching as we veered toward the side of the road. For a second, I thought he was going to crash. But then, the door suddenly unlocked. I didn't question it. The moment the car slowed even a little, I threw the door open and jumped out. I hit the pavement hard, rolling onto my side. Pain shot through my arm and shoulder, but I didn't care. I scrambled to my feet and ran. I didn't look back. Not until I reached the corner of the street and ducked behind a large dumpster, gasping for breath. Then, slowly, I peeked around the edge. The car was still there, parked in the middle of the road. Engine running, headlights on. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the driver's door opened. He stepped out. Tall, thin, moving slowly. He didn't look around, didn't call out. He just stood there, staring straight ahead, like he knew exactly where I was. My heart was pounding so loud I thought he could hear it. Then, after a few seconds, he got back into the car. The door closed, and just like that, he drove away. I stayed there for another 5 minutes before I even moved. When I finally did, I called 911 and gave them everything I could remember. The car, the driver, the route. But here's the part that still messes with me. When I checked the app later that night, the trip had been completed. It showed that I had arrived safely at my destination, 5 stars. And the driver? Daniel was no longer listed in my ride history, like the ride had never happened at all. I deleted the app the next morning, and I haven't used a ride service since, because whatever picked me up that night, I don't think it was just a driver.